365 in Teams remotely, but now moving back into kids coming back into school, we're trying to push it so that we can continue with this. What I will ask, if you've got any questions, if you can put them into the chat bar, or if it's something that you do want to speak, if you can just raise your hand. Between myself, Amelia, and Matt, we'll try and make sure that we can answer all of your questions. Matt is, he'll obviously introduce himself in a minute, but I will start by saying he is absolutely fantastic at everything Microsoft. He's gained a qualification called, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but it's the Microsoft Innovation Expert Award. From looking at it myself, it's something that's ridiculously hard to get. And from my experience of Matt, he's fantastic, which most of you already know this. Matt, that's your lovely introduction over with. I hope I've done you justice. Have you got anything to add, Matt, before we get started?
No, not at all. It is being recorded, so will be available for people in the future. I'm more than happy for people to put their hands up and ask any questions as we go along. Also, more than happy for people to have their cameras on so we can see people's faces. Otherwise, it's quite hard sometimes to present to a screen of initials, as you probably all already know, because you've probably been doing it for a lot longer than what I have been, and for a lot of other people. So thank you very much, Niall, for that introduction. So yeah, my name's Matt. I am up until the end of this month, I am the strategic lead for the Central RSA Trust, the strategic IT lead. And I am, as Niall said, a Microsoft Innovative Expert, Microsoft Innovative Education Expert, so an MIEE for short. I'm also a master trainer for Microsoft as well, which means that I've trained over 400 people since September. So I've done a fair bit of the going through what Office 365 can do. And what I try to do is link it into real world situations that you can use in the classroom. Because it's all very well me turning around and saying, oh, this can do this wonderful thing, but it's trying to link that back into what you can use in the classroom. So if you see something and you think, could I possibly use that for? And that's a great question. Please ask away, and we can look together and see what it might enable us to do as well. So just a brief overview of this session. I haven't put this into a PowerPoint or anything to start off with, because PowerPoints are boring until you know all the cool stuff to do with them. So we're going to look at Microsoft Forms. The first part of it's going to be looking at over all the other bits of Office 365 that you might not have experienced because you've been delved deeply into using Teams. So we're going to be looking at wider elements and those that you can use in a classroom, and also across multiple devices in the classroom, from if you're in a first or primary school using iPads, which are nice and easy for the younger children to get onto, to as you move up the phases into middle, secondary, using laptops, IT rooms and other resources as well. So it's going to show you how you can use those, and even through to sixth forms, if there are any. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think there are. Are there any? There is over at Tipton and Araval. Then those sixth forms, what you can do with people bringing their own devices in as well. So if they've got their phones or something to hand, if they're allowed to use those, how you can embrace and use that in the structure as well. So we're going to be focusing on, first of all, Microsoft Forms. And how we can use that. Then we're going to use Microsoft Sway, and then we're going to look at a bit about some of the new features in Word. We're also going to look at, as part of that, the immersive reader, which is great for supporting with accessibility. We're then going to be moving on to PowerPoint, which I said was boring, but if you use these funky new tools that I'm going to show you, brings it alive and into the 21st century a little bit as well. We're going to have a quick overview of OneNote Class Notebook to show you what it's capable of. And then we're going to be looking a little bit at what's possible with SharePoint, how we can make them a little bit more interesting. Microsoft Planner, Microsoft Stream, and then we'll be finishing off going over assignments in Teams for those who wants to just have a quick update on those.
Matt, sorry, you've gone mute. Amelia, are you able to unmute Matt?
No. It's greyed out.
Right, I'll unmute myself. There we go. Sorry, I got muted by somebody there. The wonders of modern technology, eh? So we'll recover from that brief for a little respite. And at the end of it, as I say, we're going through assignments, but also how you can use that to set homework moving forward to enable children and students to use that in the future. Now, obviously, we're in this weird and wonderful time of the pandemic. And so some of the stuff I'm going to show you might not be immediately obvious how you can use it in the classroom, and that's okay, because think outside the box. This is a different time. These are new skills that you guys have learned and picked up. If we'd said over a year ago that you'll be using Teams to teach every lesson and all the other tools and stuff in there, you wouldn't have believed it. So come with an open mind when you're looking at all these different systems and what they can achieve. And then hopefully we can find some really exciting things. Now, I'm going to try and cover how you can use it on as many devices as possible, as I've already said, because I know lots of people have got different devices as well. Don't forget, everything I'm going to show you is available to everybody now. Students can access this at home. Every member of staff and every student in the Multi-Academy Trust gets access to Office 365 and the programs on their computers free of charge. They can actually install it onto 5 different devices, as can you, free. So what I'll do is I'm going to kick off and I'm going to show you a couple of things. So if I share my screen, okey-dokey, pop that over there, get that on the screen. Okay, so first of all, first things first, if you don't already know, when you log into Office 365, up the top here, you've got the Install Office button. So if you've not installed Office before, or your students haven't, this is where they can install it. Now, the Office 365 apps, which you will be using already, and students will be used to if they've been using a school-provided device, are something called Pro Plus. What that means is that they're updated with all the new features automatically every single month. So it's not like the old versions of like 2016, 2013, where they're only updated when we install a new version. These automatically update. So as soon as you get a new feature in school, all the students should have that at home and they'll all be using the same version of it. So that's really important to remember if you're doing help sheets and such like. You don't have to worry now about people having a million different types of operating systems or Office 365 at all, because they can download a version from here, even if they've got a Mac, and that will install the latest version of them on up to 5 devices. It also allows them to install the apps on their phones. Now, there are differences in what's achievable between the different platforms. So whether you've got Apple iOS or Android devices, tablets as well. There are different features on there, but I'll show you before the end of the session how you can check that out yourself as well. So we're going to dive straight into Forms. And I'm sure many of you have already used Forms before. Recently, they've upped the limit, so you can have a load more forms on there. And what I'm going to do is just show you a couple of things that you can do in Forms to have your work marked automatically, which is always a lovely thing to achieve, I'm sure, and also give instant feedback to students. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But it's important to remember that other things that we're going to show you in a bit further along down the line, you can import forms into. So I don't know if you know already, you can import a form into a PowerPoint that you've shared with students. So if they watch it back, they can complete a form at the end of there. You can use them when you're setting assignments in Teams. And you can also put them into Sways, which we'll come on to in a moment as well. So you can create them here and use them in multiple other places. And that's what Office 365 is about. It's all a massive ecosystem that can support and link everything all together. So when you log into Office 365 and go onto Forms, you've got this option at the top here for New Quiz. If you press the little down arrow on the right hand side, you've got 2 options, New Quiz and New Form. Okay, so on here you're going to want to choose New Quiz. So when we've created our quiz, it's nice and easy to get going. So put a title in here. Very important topic that we're going to be doing today, favourite flavours of ice cream. So first of all, I might want to make it look pretty, which, you know, is important for everything that we're doing. I press on the button here to insert image, and I've got directly in here a search engine where I can search for pictures that I can use and put them straight in there. So we'll go, here we go, we'll go for this one here. So we'll select that one and select that one and click add. and it will add it into our element. Now, one thing that you'll see throughout me talking is the use of AI on our platforms. So what this then does is, because I've got an ice cream here, it may in a bit, when I've put in a few more information there, offer different themes based on what I'm doing. So you can make it look pretty, make it look nice without any additional work. For now, I'm just going to go for a nice sunny day on the theme, and I'm going to I can pop some text in here if I want to. And I'm going to put in my choice. So on here, we're going to see the first bit of little AI magic. Oh, we are, if I can spell. It's a problem typing in front of a bunch of teachers when you're not a teacher. So we're going to go for vanilla, and we're going to go automatically. You can see now that it's coming up with different other flavors down here because it's context aware. It knows what I'm putting in. So straight away, I can do chocolate, strawberry, mint, butterscotch. I don't know who has great flavoured ice cream, but there we go. We'll do that. So we'll put banana in there as well. Now, this is the difference between a quiz and a form, is you've got these options on the right-hand side to provide feedback. So the first thing to do is select which one's the correct answer, which we all know, of course, is banana. Banana's the best flavour ice cream that there is. And then I've just seen some people's faces. It's why it's better to react. Thanks, Miss Breton. You obviously disagree with that one there. So when you click the little speech marks next to it, you can then give some instant feedback below. And also you can then set feedback when people are wrong. So I've done that on the butterscotch and the banana. Okay, and if I come down here, I've got a few more options. So I can say this is worth 5 points, this answer here. I can also say there's multiple answers. So there could be multiple correct answers, and I can select them as well. I've got the option to select required on there as well. So what I'm going to do now, that's my first question, nice and easy. So my next choice is here. I want to put in, why is it your favourite? And again, I can add down here, add answers. So I can enter a correct answer for them to write into there. So it will mark even if they write something a little bit longer as well. But what I can also do at this point is something called branching. Now, if you haven't done branching before, it's really quite simple. You click on the 3 little dots here, go down to add branching. And basically you're saying on question 1, oh, let's head back. On question 1, when they choose one of these options, where do they go to next? So if I have several different questions or several different sections, based on the answer that the user gives, will determine what the next question that they see is. So you can use that to differentiate in your classroom a little bit. You might ask them, you know, are they a beginner or more advanced or a learner, and it could take them onto different elements in the quiz. So they're not just following the same pathway all the way through. So on here, we'd literally go to next. So on this one, I can either go to a completely different section or a specific question. So if they choose chocolate, go to the next one. If they choose which is butterscotch, go to the end of the form because we don't really care what their answer is. So you can use these to branch and go to different areas within the quiz for them. So it can be really quite interactive, and you can see this little icon up here means it's got the branching on it, so it knows which way that it goes. So coming down here again, and we've got the add section, the add button. You can come down and you can do more sections here as well. So if I want to do section 2, favourite ball game, and in here I can do another choice, which is like football. Here we go, hockey, badminton. Badminton's not a ball game. Anyway, so we've got a second question here. So depending on what answer they give here, it will determine where they go to next, where they go to the end, and they get all their feedback. So let's just put that into action and have a little look how that will look, particularly with the feedback for people. So if I just hit the preview button here, we've already seen if I do butterscotch, which isn't the right answer, and click submit, I can then now got this option here to click view results, and I get to see the feedback that I've given for them on that answer. Okay, so straight away they can see the results that they've got, how many points. So if we head back and we do another response, and we'll choose banana, notice the second question comes up in the list. Okay, so that's because I said if they say banana, then give them this answer here. So there we go. And then it goes through to the third question, and I'll submit that. Again, I can see view the results. I can see I've got 5 out of 10 points automatically, and I've got all that information there for me as the end user to get it all ready to go. So why is this so useful? Well, A, of course, it allows you to see, you know, your students, where they've gone, and really tailor it for everybody that they need. And 2, you can also very quickly see your results. So if you go on to response, you can also have this live up on the board. So you can have it as soon as somebody gives a response to this question, this form, you can see those responses coming in. So you remember in the old days, you had those live voting little handhelds that sometimes you used to take ages and you had to book them for your session. Now you can quickly put this up on the screen. And if you want to be really high tech, if they've got iPads or anything with a camera on, you can click the share button and you can click the QR code. And if you scan that with a iPad or a phone or a laptop, that will open up the quiz for the students and they can do that live on their device. Additionally, it's good if you've done a traditional worksheet or a resource for them to take home, or they stuck it in a book or something like that, or a handout, you can copy and paste that QR code and put it onto your worksheet so the kids can scan that and then complete the online test, if you like, at the end of it, using any device. So even if they haven't got a laptop at home or they've got a tablet, you can see very easily they can answer these questions onto there, and you've got that digital mark book without having to do anything else. So you can quickly download that. You can also embed it into a website as well. So where you've got any of the school websites, you can embed this directly into there for them as well. You can also embed it into a SharePoint if you create a SharePoint page. But as I've also said, you can do it into a Sway. So at the end of their work, at the end of a PowerPoint, you can put it onto there as well using the embed code here. And it tells you, just copy and paste that where it tells you to put it into there. The other thing that's actually brand new on here as well is who you can share it with. So right now, only people in my organisation can respond. So for you guys, that's anybody in the RSA. But if I want to now, I can choose the specific people in my organisation can respond, which you couldn't do before. So you can type in here a name or an email address, and only that person can complete that survey as well. Or the anyone can respond means that you can share that link, and you can even now click the shorten URL button, copy that, and I can put it straight into the chat here on the messages, and you can go in there straight away now and give me your feedback on your favourite flavoured ice cream. And you'll see that will come up live on my screen, and I can see it. And then at the end, I can post scores. So if I click the post scores button here, okay, it allows me to post the scores up, select the people, and post the scores on here of what they've achieved. Okay, so they'll then be able to see their feedback using the same link that they use to access the form. So you can not only can they QR code it to fill it in. Once they've completed it, they can do the QR code to see the feedback and everything else that they've got on there as well. And as I say, you can see it's coming in live straight away. The other thing that you can do by pressing this 3 dots here is go create a summary link. This will create a shareable link that you can give to anybody to view the results as they're coming live. So using that link, you can copy that and just open up a new window. And this is what it will look like to anybody who's got that link. So they can see live the results coming in. So how might you use this in your class? Well, you don't have to all be together to put your opinion on something. Okay, you can all have a conversation, and as they come and do their homework, I've seen one teacher use it really well for marking when people have done their homework, or if they need any additional help or anything like that, a bit of feedback on it. In addition, you can also use it, as I say, whenever they're doing other stuff, they can view it, the responses live on their devices and get that instant feedback. But let's also flip it into how students can use it, because obviously students can do this as well. So they can do quizzes amongst their peers, get that feedback, share it, that reviewing of work, peer reviewing of work. You can use this with, again, with a QR code to something to scan. So maybe if they shift from desk to desk, they can use something to scan the QR code on a desk and give the feedback straight away into forms. And what does that mean for you as a teacher? Well, when it comes to opening your work, you just click in Open in Excel, and you've got an Excel document here. Oh, hang on, it's open on my other window, and I can see here everybody who's put the name in. If I'd had the name field, mine because I was logged in, but if they're logged in, they'll put the name on there as well. How many points that they've got in total. And the questions that they answered and the score that they've got for each one as well. So this is just a normal Excel document that you can filter and use, and you can upload straight into Sims as well. So you can do the assessment, you can give feedback, allow students to access it, and at the end of that, you can map these fields to automatically be uploaded into your Sims mark sheet that you've got as well. There's a simple, in Sims, there is data in, and you can choose to use that from an Excel workbook. You can speak to your data leads and they'll be able to help you with that as well. So you can do all that without you having to lift a finger. So on here, where we've got our ice cream test and everything like that, and I've already talked about on here, we can open in Excel. We can click on review answers on the screen if you want to, and you can live, literally, go in onto each person who submitted their answer and see where they've done their specific work. So you might choose to go through this on the board, you might choose to sit down and have a conversation with somebody, but you can give specific feedback over their entire test that they've completed by using the feedback button here. So a max of 1,000 characters, and you can give them the feedback there overall how they've done, rather than just the generic as well. You can also click on the questions and you can get an overview by question. That should help you guys understand where the class as a whole might be struggling. So it gives you that instant access to see, right, I've asked 10 questions. I can see that they're all struggling on the Macbeth question or whatever that they're doing, and allows you to then target the learning respectively. Now, I'm going to show you something that's pretty cool for maths people. I know cool maths people don't really mix, but I'm going to show you something that I find quite amazing, to be honest with you. So I'm going to add a new choice here. And my question is going to be 5 times 12. So when I do my 5 times 12 here, and I come down to the maths option, so I'll put 5 times 12. Okay. What it will then do is give me the results. So I can use all these here, and it will give me the correct result. I need to put an equal sign on the end of it. Come on. It is really cool when you can do it. 5 plus 2. Let's put a equation in here. Enter equation. Oh, I'm using the wrong button. Look at that. 5 plus 12. Here, add all the answers on here. Delete these ones. Let me start that again, because I'm not very good at maths, as you can tell. Click choice, type in your question. Okay, and then on the 3 buttons at the bottom, go down to maths, enter the equation here. And what I was doing was using the wrong multiplication sign. So use this one like you would do on a calculator. 5 times 12. Okay, these are one of these is the right answer, which is obviously 60, and it will generate some random answers for you. So literally you can go through here and do a maths test with all these on here, and it will even give you the different answers and the correct answer in all of them for you to generate. So if you mark that as the correct answer, you can go straight on to the next question and do the next element. My daughter's been doing these. She's year 4. Yeah, pretty sure she's year 4. And she's been doing these, and I showed her teacher how to do them. And it's just a 5-minute answering 10 questions at the end of the day. that obviously at her level has really helped her maths. Instant feedback on how she's been doing as well on there. Quick answers, really good and easy to share. So let me just have a look at some of the questions that have just come through for forms. I've seen there's been a couple that have come up. So can you expand the image, for example, if you're using screenshots of exam questions? Yes, you can. So there's a couple of questions, isn't there, about if you can use images on there. So when you're doing an individual question, you can use the image box at the end to add a picture for each individual question, okay? And then children can click on it to make it bigger if they want to as well. But it is worth making sure it's as big as possible. So yes, you can copy maybe from a PDF or something, an exam question, and use that picture into there as well. Is there any way for it to auto mark when it's more than one mark? Find it will either give no marks or 4 marks, i.e. if it's picked 2 options and they pick 1 correct and 1 incorrect, equals 0. I don't know the answer to that. I would assume because they've got it wrong because they haven't picked the 2 correct ones. So I'll find out and feed that back to you, Mr. Wilson, and find out. Can you add images to questions, multi-images to questions? Yes. So if you want to do that, it will probably be best to use Paint and just copy and paste everything into one image that you put into there, because you can't put multiple images per question. So if you just copy and paste it into Paint and whatever you want to do into there, then it will create one big image. So that'll be nice and helpful for you on there. Somebody's asked is about if they can see the equation. I believe they can, yeah, when you use the maths stuff. And not all students have Paint. That was my they should do. Paint's a basic with Windows 10, but any image editing software where they can put them all together. But they should have Paint if they've got Windows. If not, then there's various apps that you can download across the devices to allow them to stitch multiple images together, and they're all free in there as well. So hopefully that's been quite useful for you. Just a very quick introduction into forms and a few of the extra bits that you can do that you might not know. Now, remember, when you're doing an assignment, okay, so if you put the assignment in Teams, you can choose to use one of your forms as the assignment, as the homework. So you can create it here and assign them that assignment, and that's what they have to do for the homework. I'll touch on that again towards the end of it. Okay, so next moving into Sway.
Max, sorry, before you move on, you've got one question about French.
Yes, it is case sensitive for I think for French. I need to double check. I haven't put any French questions in myself yet, but I'll double check what the exact nature of it needs to be to see if it is case sensitive or not on there. But I believe it would need to be with French answers, but I'll double check. Thanks, Niall. Okay, so we're going to talk about Sway now, and the reason why I'm spending a bit longer on these two is because you've probably never heard of Sway before. If you have, you might have just heard it in passing. It's not a dance. Well, it is a dance, but I'm not doing a dance, you'll be pleased to hear. We're going to go through how you can quickly create content in a quick to view, quick to share way on any device. So Sway allows you to build an interactive website, if you like, really quickly. It takes care of how it looks. Okay, and within that you can pull in videos from YouTube, you can pull in tweets, you can pull in all kinds of content that is traditionally quite hard to get into PowerPoint. Now, it takes care of all the looking of it for you. It's really good as well for students to get them to create content as well and share it with others, because sharing it is just a matter of sharing a web link. And again, you can use the QR codes as well for that. So you could have a traditional worksheet and ask them to scan the QR code on the worksheet and it will open up the Sway. So I'm going to show you a Sway that I made earlier on. This is my Sway about ice cream. Not that I'm getting ready for the summer or anything. So these are, this is my title, and you can see it's called a card. So at the top here, I've got my main card, okay, and here I've got a stack card, and here I've got a video card, and here I've embedded a form, okay. So I'm just going to add a bit of extra content here. I'm going to add another box on the end of it, and I'm going to add in, what should we add? Should we add a video? Let's put a nice video up, nice video, a nice picture of ice cream. So first thing that you can see, look how easy it is for me to add content. So I don't have to waste time in my lesson farting around, which is a technical term, and locating content for my sway. It literally searches the web for me. It searches Bing, YouTube, and Wikipedia, and it knows what I'm looking for. So it knows I'm looking for ice cream because it can work that out. Here's all my pictures of ice cream. And I literally go, I want that picture. Boom, done. I want to write a little bit about ice cream. So here is the definition of ice cream from Wikipedia. Let's chuck that in there as well. Okay, so we'll put that down the bottom there. So I've got my content now. I've built that up here, and I click the design button, and here's my interactive content. So here I've got my cards that I've created that I can scroll through. Here I've got my video. I've got the picture that I put in here, and I've got the picture down here with the additional text on it. But I don't really like that view though. It's a bit rubbish, a bit boring. So maybe I want to scroll horizontally, and not really liking the layout. So let's press the remix button. Don't really like that. Let's try again. Here we go. Let's go for this one. So I like this one. So it's styled it all for me. Nice and easy. So I've got same content in the same place. I can quickly do my video. I can see on this one, it's got the text on here for my ice cream text that I've got on there, and to click into the form really quickly, I can then complete my ice cream homework. So the whole point on this is, and because it can work across any devices, you create the content, you bring together any Word documents, Excel documents, any forms that you've got, any videos or any learning like that, bring it all onto this web-based stuff, and then what do you need to view it? And the answer is anything that can access the internet. It's just a web link. So when you come up here to share, again, you can share with specific people or groups, so you can share it just with one of your classes by typing the class name in there. You can share it with anybody in your organisation or anybody else with a link. You can choose whether they can view or edit it, and you can either embed it into a website or into anything else that you want to, or just share the link. So if I share the link in the chat now, you can quickly click on that link, view the little sway that I've just made, interact with it, and do everything that you need to do in there as well. I can also password protect it, or I can put a thumbnail into an email message if I want to as well. And when I make changes or add to it, you will instantly see the updates that I do. So say that I've had a lesson and a kid's helped me out with a really great web link. If I go back into story mode, and just add something on the end to here, say, I don't know, let's just do some text. This is a great website to use. www.iloveicecream.com. Okay, and then you guys refresh that link, you'll see straight up on there for them to see it. So really nice and quick for them to go and view that. Again, on a phone, on a tablet, on an iPad, on everything else. It's all copyright free. Yeah, absolutely copyright free. Everything that you put in there, you're able to use on these. It searches it in that way. So really quick and easy way to add stuff onto there. You can choose ready-made templates, but you can also come down the bottom here where you've got featured sways. So you can choose sways built already on a topic that you might like. So, for example, this one here on human differences, what keeps us apart. So let's choose that one. Great, fantastic. Let's not choose that one. Let's go across here. Start from a topic. So you can choose here to search for a particular topic. So I'm going to go for Roman history. And it will create an outline for you based on that topic. Okay. Or you can use one of the ones that have already been created. Okay. So I'm going to, maybe these will work now. Let's have a look. Here we go. So this is my future self. So I can scroll across here. That's brilliant. Hasn't got any content into that one. That's what I love. It's live. Let's go to the solution. Oh, this is what we need. Solution to the world's biggest problems. We're all going to be enlightened here. So here's the solution to the world's biggest problems. So objectives are in there, followed by a starter activity. And now it's got resources for the starter activity. So it's got various videos, and it's got some stacked cards there. So the starter activity is to work in groups of 2 to 4 students on the SDG assigned to your group by the teacher. And then they all read an article, watch a video, and then basically they share a short overview of their challenges and the story they found with the class. So they can use either one of these, or they can use one of these videos to do that starter activity. Then it goes into activity 1 through to activity 2. More information here for resources for them to follow it up. Collaborative convergent matrix. My goodness, that sounds interesting. And then coming down here, it also allows you to go your OneNote, which is embedded in here as well. So the resources are embedded in here for people to do. And then you can see you've got a tweet here that's been embedded. You can look at the feedback card that's been embedded. Loads and loads of things to do. So you can either do it for an individual lesson. You've got SWOT analysis there, which is an image that they can use and you can put in. Goes on for ages, but all in one document with a final reflection on the end as well. So it's really, really good and useful for that. But also, as I mentioned at the start, students can create their own outline, their own sways on a particular topic. So they don't have to spend that time messing around making it look good, because it will make it look good for them. They can bring in lots of resources from different locations into it. And when it comes to sharing it with you, no need to worry about books. It's just a link. So they'll just share the link with you for their group, and obviously they can collaboratively work on it. So you could split them into groups. They can collaborate on the single sway, or you can have each individual doing an individual sway as well. The best way to learn it is to do it. Okay, so you can have a look on there and view out how it's all worked as well. Now you can also click on the analytics button, and you can see here a little bit, it's not a lot, but a little bit of information on how many people have viewed it, how long they've been on it, how far they got through it before they gave up, all on there for them to see that element. Now I see somebody said, can students add to the page? Now they can't by default unless you share with them the editing link, but you can put in things such as Flipgrid. If you've ever used Flipgrid before, it's amazing. Students can record themselves and they can put in their responses to something onto there as well. And there's another one called Padlet, I think, pretty sure it's Padlet, that you can have like an interactive notice board where they can put it and you can embed them into your sway as well. So you can't directly do it into there, but you can bring other elements into it which will allow you to do it. So you can embed those Padlets and stuff into there. You can't create, well, actually, I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's find a PowerPoint. Let me have a look at PowerPoint. I'm sure I've got something exciting for us all. Let's go for heads thing. That's always a good thing. Looks like you can do it from a PowerPoint, Dr. Sujit. Looks like you can. So you can also, I know you can do it from Word documents, upload it, and it'll put the content into it as well. And it will be able to break it down to different elements as well. So yeah, this is my PowerPoint, and it's got all my images and even my smart art out of there. And this is the heads thing that I did the other day, which was named. So it's got all the images out. So this was a background image, that's why it's there. But you can see that you've got my the pictures there that I put up onto there. Down here you've got all the word art and smart art all on here. So yeah, you absolutely can put in an existing document, whether it's a PowerPoint, anything like that, to quickly create it. So it's very, very, very powerful that you can do. You can also, if you wanted to at the start of your lesson, loop this continuously, okay, at the start of the lesson on a device up on the screen. So it can be a starter activity which loops through automatically, and you can say how many seconds for it to do it, and do it that way as well. So you can, the other thing you can do is duplicate the sway if you want to edit little bits for it as well. So very, very powerful sway is, and something that I didn't show you on the forms, but you can also do on here is you can of course duplicate. So you can duplicate the individual form or the individual sway and reuse them and just change little edits of them as well. So very, very, very easy to do and powerful on there as well. So that is sway. We're going to move over now to Word, and I'm going to show you a few options in Word. This one's going to be fairly quick, but it also might be quite transformational for the young people in the classroom. So you're in your classroom and you may have multiple students there who perhaps struggle to type as quickly or write as quickly as what they can. You may not already know this, but you've got a dictation option built in. So straight away, you can hit the dictate button. This is through the web at the moment, and I'm going to live dictate into the document. It's actually really good and really accurate as well. And you'll see on the right-hand side, it gives me the option for putting in stuff like punctuation, editing, creating lists and such like as well. So on here, for example, if I do new paragraph, starts a new paragraph on the document for me. So this really comes into its own for young people who've got a tablet where they've not got a proper keyboard. They can use this to get their information and ideas onto the screen. What you can also do is turn on and off the profanity filter and the auto punctuation as well. You can also change the language spoken to English UK, which I know is a massive bugbear for some English teachers, so you can get that right in there as well. Nice and easy to use. But importantly, the children can use it at home. So a lot of what we're showing you in terms of accessibility, they can use those skills to move on at home as well. Same for you as staff. So if you have to write reports or anything like that, or if you want to mark something, just click dictate and put your information straight in using the microphones that you've already got. In addition, you've got the ability to transcribe. So if you're going for a meeting, don't worry about writing notes. This is mainly obviously for teachers. You can click the transcribe button, click the record button, and it will know every different person who's talking. Then it will put it into your Word document for you. It'll store a recording in your OneDrive, and all you have to do is identify on the first time each person speaks who they are, and then it will pick up every different person on that meeting. So don't worry about having people, you know, take minutes or anything like that. You can do that all from Word with just a microphone on there as well. So nice and easy built in. The other option you've got here, here is Immersive Reader. Now, Immersive Reader is fantastic for accessibility. And one of them, as I say, one of the most powerful things for Office 365 along the route of accessibility is making sure that the children are in charge of their own settings, so they know how to use it. And the big takeaway is when they go into their career, Office 365 will be likely what they use. So they'll be able to use that to carry on their learning throughout. And I know that the examination boards are working with Microsoft for next year's exams to make sure that you can use Immersive Reader in exams. So that was something that's been raised through the MIE group that I'm part of. So I'm going to show you it, but it's also available in the Edge browser. It's also available in your email and everywhere else. So it in Word and PowerPoint and lots of other places. So we click View and we go to Immersive Reader. So on here, you'll see that the very first thing that it does is change my background color to a default. So on here, I can quickly change to the best method that supports my view. So if I've got dyslexia, it might be a benefit from black on green or another variation of that. I can also use one of these three fonts. So Comic Sans is better for dyslexia as well. So I can pop that into Comic Sans to make it a little bit easier for me, and I can increase the text size. And I can also choose to increase the spacing or not, whichever I fancy. On the grammar options, you already see that it's highlighted nouns in purple and adverbs in like a goldy colour, but I can turn them on or off and get it to show the labels of what they are as well. So remember, that's just on what I've spoken. Okay, so what I might want to do at this point is have what I've spoken read back to me so that I can see if it makes sense or not. So one button on the top here will play back. We'll start from the top. We'll play back.
This is through the web at the moment, and I'm going to live dictate into the document.
So I don't know if you can hear that, but it reads it back to me on the screen. And if I don't get on with that, I can change the voice of the, yes, it will, Dr. Studgett, I'll show you that in a second, the voice speed. So what I call the drunken female is very, very fast, right down to the drunken male, who's very, very slow. So you can have it coming back to read out what they want to do. Also, you've got an immediate here, an immediate option to click on the individual word and have that individual word read back to you, and a picture dictionary as well. So if there's a particular word that they don't understand in a document that you've given them in Word, they can quickly grab this, turn it on, click on the word, document. Okay, I'll look at that and see what sense that makes in there as well. Okay, so lastly, I can choose about a line focus. So I might only focus one line at a time. So I can choose 1, 2, or 3 on here for the line, or 5 lines for the line focus. And as it reads it, it will move it down the screen as well for me. So you might choose to use this on your board if it's easier for other people. The other options you've got here is to translate. So you or the student can translate this document into one of 60 different languages. So we're going to go for Vietnamese, and you can choose individual words or the entire document. So that's just live translated that document to Vietnamese. I've got the original and the Vietnamese, and I can click play. And that is reading it back to me in Vietnamese. So if you want to live translate anything that you're doing straight away into somebody's home language, you can do it up on the board, but more importantly, with a device, the students can do that themselves. Furthermore, on your phone, you can download the something called the Microsoft Lens app, and they can hold the camera over a document, okay, and it will do that to printed documents as well. So it'll scan the text, you take a picture, it scans the text, and will read them back to them out of a book or a printout that you've done as well. So students can use that whenever it suits them. If they're walking in a corridor or they're in a restaurant with a menu, you're putting them in control. And then when I've done this, it remembers all my settings. So whenever I open up any document, it remembers the settings that I set up. So next time I come to it, it's exactly the same of what I needed. So Immersive Reader is incredibly powerful. And as I say, if we go, say, to this website here, which is just a normal website, and I select some text, I can just right click and go down to Open in Immersive Reader, and it allows me to do a bit of a lockdown version of it, but it certainly allows me to have the text a different color. Okay, it allows me to have it read aloud to me. I've got the grammar tools, and I can translate it entirely on the page as well straight away myself. So that's just on the text that I selected, or I can come out of that and go back to the full page, and I could ask it to do it for the full page just by clicking the Immersive Reader button up the top here. Built into Edge, which is available now, and for the kids at home as well. So really, really powerful on there. Right, let me just go back to my Word document. The last thing I'm going to show you into Word is, and you can already see it just trying to help me there is a brand new editor button. This allows you to do spelling and grammar, allows you to look at the conciseness, and it will give you recommendations for the conciseness. But nice for you teachers, if you open up somebody's document, you can click check for similarity to online sources, and that will show you if the document's been copied from a wide range of resources on the internet. So plagiarism, you can do that. It will search this database and help you out and find anything there that might have been plagiarized or not. You've got the insights, so you can look at all the readability scores and everything like that. So what you might choose is either as a school to have a standard, as an individual to have a standard, or you might set your students to check this tool before they submit something to you, so they can use that to go through. And basically what it will do is every time you come on here, it will suggest to you why it's doing it. These words work best when connected with a hyphen. So you can pop that in there as well and change it when you want to as well. So nice and easy to use on there. The more words you've got in, it gives you a load more updates on there as well. This brand new feature next to it is called Designer. I'm not going to show you that in Word because it's better in PowerPoint, which we're going to show you now. But it's important to know that what I'm going to show you in PowerPoint, you can do in Word very easily. So we're now going to jump over to PowerPoint. I am racing through a little bit just for time, because we've got a lot to do, but it is recorded, so you can go back to it. And this session is all about you finding out what possibilities are there and then go and clicking some buttons, because you can't break it once you give it a go. And I'll give you some resources at the end as well, where you can go and locate some lesson plans that use some of these tools as well, so you can get hands-on with them as well. So I'm going to go in and do my new presentation. Bear in mind, I'm doing this from the web. I can do it from within the program, but I'm doing it from within the web because it's nice and easy to do. So first of all, you'll notice this is a designer tool that I've just talked about. So straight away, it will design to give me a design that's interactive or just nice to look at, and it will learn what's on my page. So here I'm going to talk about, guess what? Ice cream. And I'm going to put in a picture up the top here for ice cream. So let's go pictures. From Bing, we'll find ice cream again. So we'll go for this one and this one. I'm going to insert them there. So I've got my pictures, and you'll see on the right hand side it's designed my PowerPoint for me. Job done. Don't need to worry about it. All done nicely. Attributes any images. If I don't like any of them, I can see more ideas, and it will keep on selecting them for me until I've had enough and there's nothing else I can do. So really nice and easy to do. So the other thing that you can do, which you need to be using the actual PowerPoint program for, is 3D objects. So this may well be better for the younger people, but not teachers, obviously, but younger students. When you come onto here, you can do 3D models. So if you click on 3D models from stock 3D models, you can grab a load of different stuff. So we're going to go for anatomy, and we'll go for an anatomy of, what should we go for? Let's go for the blood cells. So we insert that into our PowerPoint. Here is our 3D method thing, and I can turn that around and use that on the board and put whatever, whatever thing that I wanted to talk around it on there. I can also put in, so I've got my 3D models, some that walk around and move. So a particularly good one that I like is dinosaurs, and we can have, these are all animals, aren't they? So if we've got a dinosaur, I'm sure there was a dinosaur on here. Here we go. Got my dinosaur, and pop that in. And what it'll do is that it likes to walk around the screen. There we go. Here's my walking dinosaur on the screen that I can turn around and put to where I want it to be on there as well. So a nice, cool model on there for you to use it nice and easily. So if we go back to the online version, and I'm now going to show you a couple of cool tools when you go to present that you might not have known about before. There was an interesting, it was on, I saw it today actually on the internet, so it's got to be true. It was Stephen Fry, who's a generally trustworthy bloke, saying that the best thing that you can do to help with comprehension for students is to turn on subtitles. I don't know if anybody else saw that. You can turn on subtitles on the TV and it helps. You can turn on subtitles on your PowerPoint. Not only that, but it will live translate. So you might speak in English UK. You might want to have your subtitles going up, say, in Hindi, because you might do in a parents' evening or might be AL in a lesson. So if you then start to do your presentation, and we turn on down the bottom here, subtitles, you'll see that it will put live subtitles up on my PowerPoint as I talk in Hindi. So it's just using my microphone in my device, and it lets me have that up at the bottom. Obviously, I can have it in English, but if I do know there's somebody else in the class, I can put them at the top, at the bottom, wherever I want to, and it will remember that setting so that whenever I go to do a PowerPoint, I can have that up on my screen and have it live on there. Useful at the moment as well, if you're doing live teaching using PowerPoint, they might not be able to have the sound on. So by turning on subtitles, they'll be able to follow what you're saying on their screen as well, as plenty of other benefits. The other thing that I can do is do my rehearse with coach. Now, this is probably better for the students to do, to be honest with you. If they're doing a presentation, you can ask them to show and complete this as part of that task. So they will have the bottom down here, and you can see it's already telling me that I'm saying too much. If you say a rude word as well, it will tell you not to say that. If you say something offensive or homophobic or something like that, it will detect that. It will also, if you speak really, really fast, tell you to slow down because you're talking too fast and you should really slow down because you shouldn't be talking this fast. Normally it pops up, there we go. Just try speaking a bit slower. So it goes through this whole range of stuff for you as you're doing it, which you can use or the students can use. And then at the end of the session, it gives you a really cool overview of per slide performance, when you've said when your pitch has changed, all these different things here. Luckily, I didn't swear at you, and I was fairly original. If you read what's on the screen, it will tell you that you're reading from the screen on there, and that obviously how that's going to affect stuff as well. So really, really powerful stuff there that you can use to feedback, or at least get the students to try it themselves. Especially with the older teens who may be a bit more nervous about doing it, so that can give us some good feedback. The last thing that I want to show you is PowerPoint Live. Now, this takes some user interaction with this. I'd like you all to be involved in this one if you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to present live, and I'm going to do it to anybody. So if you've got a phone or you've got a web browser alongside Teams, and click the Present Live button, you can either hold up your phone to the QR code, and it will open it up on your phone, or you can enter in the code that will come up on the screen any second now, hopefully. So I'll pop this into the chat so you can click on this just for ease, or you can use your phone. Just go on the camera app, hover it over the QR code, and it will open up on your screen. You can also do it with anything in terms of a iPad or anything else. So when you've got it open and you've put your phone onto it, it'll ask you to open up in your browser a screen. And I can see here 29 people have joined. Brilliant. Wish I'd done a better PowerPoint now. And you can see on your screen, okay, that you can follow what I'm saying on the screen live as I'm talking. So you can see on here everything that I'm saying, and you can touch and scroll back and forth. So if you missed a bit, you can go back through to it. And then down in the bottom right hand corner, you can give me live feedback. So you can see that people, when you click on that, you can see people's feedbacks coming up on the screen. So it could be you're asking for feedback. Do you understand that? So yeah, if you understand it, give me a thumbs up. If you really understand it, give me a love. If you're not sure, a different the sad face on there as well. You can also click the English button in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and you can choose to transcribe what I'm saying into any language. So you can, they can have that option there in their hands, on their iPad or on their computer, to follow what I'm saying in the comments below in their own language as well. So, for example, this is what I look like when I'm talking in Bosnian, in case you were wondering, on the bottom here. So they've got complete control over that. If they press the 3 dots in the bottom corner as well, they get the ability to rate my presentation. And in fact, if I go through my presentation now at the end of it, you'll get a pop-up saying about it as well. So if I end the show and end the session, you will now get a little thing saying on here that the session is no longer active, and you'll be able to give me a bit of feedback. When you've done that, and we'll see if it comes up before the end of this, I get an email telling me how I did on my presentation, so instant feedback to it there as well. So again, students can do that. You can do it remotely like we just have over Teams. You can do it in a classroom using devices as well. And you can control through that whether they can skip through slides or skip back through slides, so they can do it at their own pace. So that is present live. And now the 2 options in there is only people in your organisation, which means they have to be logged in, or anyone with the link. So if you're presenting to students, but also parents, you can have that up on the screen at the start, and they can follow along on their own devices. That's if you even bother to invite invite parents into meetings anymore, because obviously they can do them all remotely now, so you don't even have to worry about that. So some fantastic features there to use in PowerPoint that perhaps you didn't even know existed, and are nice and easy to switch on. And again, I've done them all from my browser there, so I know you can go off and do them straight away and use them nice and easily. Okay, next journey is on to class notebook overview. So if you haven't already in your time used OneNote, it's a fantastic tool. When you use OneNote, it allows you to basically replace your normal day-to-day note taking on a digital device. So now hopefully all of you got laptops, it can be something that you can look into. It's a blank canvas. So I've seen some teachers use it really well in departments to organise lesson planning. So they take the contents for their lessons, for their topic, however they organise it, and they create a notebook between them and their colleagues in their department, and all the resources are in there. When somebody finds a new one, they add it nice and easily to it. Whether that's a Word document, a YouTube video, a web link, whatever they need, they can put it into there. The class notebook takes it one step further. Now, you can do this outside of Teams, but because you're using Teams and the students know how to use it, I'm going to show you it within Teams. So I'm going to go down here to my test class. Where are they? Class 3, here we go. So this is my test classroom with my English, Maths and French down the side there. And you'll notice up here, I've got the icon for class notebook. So by clicking on the class notebook icon, it will generate a class notebook for me. So I'm going to take you through this process and show you it. And then if you want more information on it, what I'll probably do is do another session on it in depth. So don't worry too much if you're not following what I'm doing. So in our notebooks, our workbooks, there's going to be 3 areas. The first area is a student notebook. That's where they can write whatever they want, do any work that they want, import PowerPoint, Excel, whatever they want, or write over something you've already created in there, and only you and they can see it. There is a content library where you can put all the resources for them, and it's read only for them to see it. And then they can copy it out of there and into their books by a press of a button. And then you've got the collaboration space, which is where they can all collaborate together. So it might be have a page where they can all put links on it, or because it's OneNote and they could be using, say, an iPad or something like that, you could ask them all to take a picture of their work and put all the picture in there so the rest of the class can see it and feedback on it and share it with others. Okay, so it's all in there, complete and nice and easy to set up. So if I click on the little navigation button here, I'll see here that I've got my areas here, my teacher only, my content library and my collaboration space. And then you'll see I've got Tom. Now Tom's a student. I've only got Tom in my class. I'm very lucky, I only teach one-to-one. Tom's very lucky actually. And in here I can see Tom's work. So I can go as a teacher and see his notebook, but Tom obviously can't see anybody else's, he can only see his. So where he's completed any work, I'm not sure where he's done it. There we go, he's done his maths work here. It's not very good, but he's done it. I can see it here, and very quickly I can give him some feedback on his work. Done. That's how quick it is to view the work and give them feedback on here. So the student could have put in a Word document. So they go insert, file, and they can do an attachment like you would do on an email, or they can do a printout into there as well if they want to. Into there and give them the feedback. How might I want to give them feedback? Well, it could be that I want to do a list here. Revise 5 times timetable. It could be that I want to give them some audio feedback. So I'm now letting it use my audio functionality and I'm recording it. Tom, this is brilliant work. Well done. Really impressed with it. Well done. So there's an audio recording now in there of me giving the feedback to that student. Straight away, instant access. So it's got it all into there. The other stuff that I can do as well is record the page. This is particularly good if you're doing maths. So here I've got my maths and I can write my equation in ink, or I can type it using the keyboard, or I can tap the maths button and put it in. Okay, so if we, for example, I don't understand maths very well, so let's put it insert on page here. I don't know what that means. Looks like a pretty colours there. I can create whatever I need to do and paste it in there. But say that I wanted to go through something with them on the screen that I've created using my pen. So let's go pen, draw. Yeah. Okay, and if I go on to, where was the recording? That's where the recording is. Where's it gone? So there is, I can't see it at the moment, but there is an option to replay that bit that I've just done there. So when that was in there, I click on replay and they can see how I formed that page, how I've worked something out, particularly good for maths as well. The other stuff that you can put in there as well is, if I come off the pen and go back onto normal writing, you can do immersive reader. So again, that immersive reader application that we've shown before, the kids can use that in here and have it read back to them as well. So that's really cool as well. You can also change the color and you can set different backgrounds onto it as well. So if you want to have them having lined paper, for example, if they're using a touchscreen or an iPad or something, you can do that. You can also go on to, if you've got a webcam turned up as using it as well, you can do it so that you can record. So if the student isn't very good at typing again or verbalizing, you can use the recording there for them to create that content on the screen nice and easily and submit it to you that way. Or it could just be they take a photo of a piece of written work. You can help them build up that whole portfolio of what they're doing. Great also if they've got the laptops in the class, have it open, take notes, be able to jump back and forth. That is their way of storing their information that they can then access at home or on any computers that they want as well. So if we're looking at this new world, it's stored on the internet, stored in the Teams. They can open it up on any device, anywhere, and go back and see it as well. So as a teacher, though, you can choose to distribute pages. So you can choose to distribute pages that you've created to the students. So you might have created a worksheet or want them to fill in the blanks or whatever you want them to do for you. You can distribute that page to everybody, individuals or just groups. Okay, you can also do it, say you've got multiple notebooks for maybe you teach year 7 history across multiple classes. One button will copy that work from one book into all the other books that you've got there as well. So it's a time saver for you as teacher, not having to recreate all those resources. You can then, once you distribute it, you can collect it in digitally as well. So you can collect the review student work button, and this will allow you to choose a page or a section that you've distributed, and basically you go into it shows you every student's maths page, for example. Okay, so if I distributed one, it would list one here, and to mark the work, I'd literally click on the page there and cycle through the students one by one, and the relevant page will be on the left. So I don't have to flip through to find where it is or open a particular document, go through my emails. It opens them all up in one location. So nice and easy for you to mark. And again, you can do that in the browser, in the desktop app. If you want to, if you don't want to do it in Teams, you can do it from there as well. So really, really powerful tool. And I'm just touching the surface on it as well. So somebody said students can also generate their own MPQ forms based on practice questions. I'm going to assume that's a good thing. And also somebody said it doesn't synchronize instantly. Sometimes it takes a few hours to sync. Is this to do with the device? Yeah, it's actually how they're opening it up. So if they open it up on the internet, it will be synced a lot quicker than it will from the program. So if you're using the Windows 10 app, for example, the web version will sync a lot quicker instantly. So I'd always encourage using that, unless you're specifically using the pen option on a touchscreen or something like that, or you want to use the video functionality on it. I'd always use this one here as well. So you just mentioned about on the grades from there. Yes, I believe when you're reviewing the work, it allows you to post that to the assignments and the grade sections as well. And you can also use that to set the work as well. The breakdown I normally give people is that the class notebook is like their digital workbook, whereas the assignments is more set and specific work. Okay, so that's the major difference between the two on there as well. So whilst I'm here, I am just going to spend a little time just on the assignments and the grades for those who haven't used this tool before, and just show you how you can use that whilst we're in here and whilst we're still in time as well. So if you've not used this before, then obviously it's all about, you need to create your own team. They should be created for you. If they're not already, you open up Teams and go into the Teams button, and up the top here you've got join or create team. Then you press create team again, and it's really important that you use the class option to create the team. If you do not use the class option, then you won't have the assignments tab in there, and you can't retrospectively go back and change which of these 4 elements that a team is. So if you're not sure, I'd always use the class one. So then students will have the classes in front of them that they're members of. So these are all the ones that I'm members of, so it's probably a lot more than your standard student. They hopefully will only see what they need to see. The reason why teams are really effective to use is because within them you can post lots of different information. So you can see here I've got my different channels down the left-hand side of the screen, and I can post into them directly on those specific subjects. I can create them for what I want. But on the main one, I have everything. So here I've got my assignments. I've also got a meeting. So this was a lesson for them to come to. No more sharing links or anything like that. As I say, my daughter in year 4, once they're logged into using Teams, everything is pretty straightforward and in front of them. So when it comes to a meeting, literally click on the meeting and join the meeting. You don't have to go into your calendar or anything like that. And lots of people have been doing it a long way around. You can also do like quick polls using forms on there as well. So how was your day? People can also reply to individual comments. And you've got your daily check-in. You can see all your assignments here as well. To do a meeting, up the top, you've got the meet button. Press the down arrow. You've got the option to meet now or schedule a meeting. And when you click on schedule a meeting, the really important thing to do once you've created it, so we'll just do this, put somebody in there. You can do it with groups as well if you want to, or you can just leave it blank and it will be everybody in that team, is to go back in after you've created it and click on the meeting options button. Click on the meeting options button will then allow you to control quite a few options. So the first one is who can come into the meeting without your permission, okay? Now, brand new feature just announced today is that you're going to be able to choose an option in here in the next couple of months where it's anybody who's invited. So when you do a team for your class, okay, just your class will be able to come straight in, nobody else. So you don't have to allow everybody in individually like you might have to at the moment. Or you can obviously, if you're confident that the only people who are going to get in are those you know, you can choose the everyone option. You've also got the option of who can present. So you can choose yourself, specific people, or everyone. And then you've got the option to allow attendees to unmute and to mute them. You've also got the allow reaction. So this is brand new to allow the reaction on here. Okay, and that is where you click up where you put your hands and you can use the reactions. I should have told you this before the start. You could have used them when you like a feature. So feel free to, but where you put your hand up, just hover over there and you can put a thing of your choice and it will come up over your name so I can get the feedback and other people can see it. A great way to work with people who don't have the ability to a microphone or in a busy place to give you feedback, or more importantly, probably teenagers who don't like talking. So you can engage with them without them having to be up on the screen. They can choose one of those feedback options. And one of the most effective ways actually that I've seen in a team for people to give feedback with that non-verbal is just by going like this. So just asking them to like that individual thing if they've completed a certain amount so they can see at what level that they are. And as a teacher, I can then go over, hover over the little plus sign and go, oh, I can see that these people have already achieved that. Okay, and it might be later on that I want to do that. Non-verbal, so those teenagers who don't like being up on the screen can have that on there as well. Somebody asked about, can you choose specific people to bypass the lobby? That's what's coming soon. So no, you can't at the moment, but that is on the way there as well. You can also on this screen, just so you know, you can also now turn off chat as well. So you can turn off chat in the meeting and after the meeting. So it's an option on here. I haven't got it on this one, but you have the option to turn off chat during your meeting so they can't use it at all. Just in case you're looking for where that functionality is. And if you're in a meeting, you can change these within the meeting by pressing the 3 dots up the top and coming down to meeting options, and that will allow you to change them as well. But let's jump back into our team and go back to the assignments element of it. So that's how I schedule a quick meeting. I'm going to go to assignment and I'm going to set an assignment. So I click on the assignments tab. Now I can only set the assignments within the actual Teams general channel, so I can't do it in English, but I can get it to put it in there once I've created it. So I created it on the assignments tab, and I can actually do this from the assignments tab over here. So I can do it in that particular team, which is how I prefer to work, or I can choose it generically in the assignments one and then assign it to a team. So here is the ones that I've already assigned. Okay, but I'm going to create one now. So I'm going to click on create, and notice I can use my quiz from earlier on, or I can use my assignment. Okay, I can also copy from an existing document as homework that I've already done, so I don't have to redo it all again. In this case, I'm going to use assignment, but as I say, quiz, everything that we've just shown you, you can set that quiz, and that's what they have to do. So on this screen, I'll put in my homework. Classes do is spellings in this one. So I've got my spellings homework, got my instructions. Notice in here I can include web links, so if I want them to go to a particular website, put those resources in there. I could also share a link to anything else in Office 365, so I could put my Sway link in there. That's how they can access that Sway for that meeting, that homework as well, and go from there. When I click on add resources, I can also put in a link to the Sway in there as well. I could link to a particular, somebody said, can you do this for assignments? Yes, I can go to my class notebook and give them the actual page out of there as the homework. I can create a new file and do that homework now, so if I haven't done it. Or I can go into one of my teams and copy one of the files that I've already got. And of course, the basic option is to go into my own OneDrive. So I'm just going to go into my OneDrive and I'll choose this exciting document here, attach that. Very importantly, you see the default is students can't edit. If you click the three dots at the end, I recommend you choose students edit their own copy. It does exactly what it says on the tin. They don't have to download it. They don't have to do save as. They don't have to do anything like that. They just click on it and it creates that document for themselves. Okay. So I've got that document in there that they can then go and edit. I've also got points or rubric. If you've not used a rubric before, Niall's done a good video that we're going to share on how to use a rubric. It's like a success criteria, Niall. Is that how you describe it a bit clearer? Yeah, cool. Can't see your thumb there because it got blurred out, but I'm assuming it was up and not down. So yeah, so we've got the marking criteria there, and we can add points onto this as well. So we can do percentage and all those kind of things that you'll probably understand a lot better than me, and you can reuse it once you've created it as well. Then we can assign it. Now we can assign it to a whole class or individual, well, whichever class we want really on there, and we can choose to do it to all students or specific students. Okay, and then down the bottom here, I've often overlooked, say this is my spellings, I don't want it in a general channel, it's going to mix everybody. Or I've created channels, okay, for specific students. So it might be based on ability groups or however you want to distinguish between them. This might be the higher ability homework. So actually I want to put that into the higher ability channel. So they can do that one. So nobody else will see that. Hit the assign button and now they've got that homework. They'll get an alert to say that they've got that homework in Teams. And when they go in to do it, we can see it's posted it here in the maths one. And we click in the view assignment button. This is the teacher overview of it. So I can see at the moment, these two people haven't handed it in, okay? But I can also click on the three dots up here and go onto the student view. So if you want to see what it looks like for students, this is what it looks like. Got all my instructions in there, got my document, I can click on that, and that's all the student has to do to edit that document. They can use, see, the immersive reader in here as well. So if they've got using that tool already, it carries through. I can't edit that because I'm the teacher and this has been assigned to a kid, but a kid would be able to access that within the browser. And they can use that dictate functionality. So again, if they're doing it off a phone or a tablet, they can dictate into there and put their information there nice and easy. Immersive readers also built into here to read stuff out as well. So as soon as they've done it, when they've finished it, they've got a hand in button up the top here. They click the hand in button, jobs are good. What I'm going to do though, is I'm going to select both my kids and they've returned it. Now it could be they've returned something physical and not done it online. Okay. If that's the case, great. They've returned it. They've returned that work. So I can now go into their particular version, or if they've forgotten to it, and the work would be there for them if they'd attached it to it. They haven't in this case. And literally all I do here is write my feedback for that student. There we go, detailed feedback there. Click return, and that's sending it back to them with the document, any changes that I've made on the document, and they can view the history of when it's been returned, and they can see all the feedback on it as well. To go on the next kid, I'll just press the next arrow and choose for Tom as well. So they can go back onto that view as well. On here, I can see the feedback that I've given them nice and easily. And one of the new features on here is the ability to hide student names. So if you want to do a bit of peer review, you can hide the student name so nobody can see it on there. It's just got the word student instead. So you can go through and see what people have done as well. Again, you can go on the student view and view what they can see on there as well and how they've done that as well. And you can quickly search for a student up here as well. So when they're returned on here, you've got this status here. You can click on it and go back into the work afterwards. And you can also on when you go into it, you can return it back to the child again if you need to. So you can return it back if you want them to do additional work on it as well. You can also export it to Excel, and you can go back and re-edit the assignment if you want to as well. When you go onto the grades tab, you are able then to see the homework. So you choose a different assignment, and let me go back. These are my children here. I can see who's handed it in, and I can click on the 3 dots to open that work there if I want to. Yes, you can add work to a student assignment if they've added it to you, if they've sent it to you, but the best thing is to get them to go in there and upload it themselves, but you can add it to there as well. You can also export this to Excel, again, to go straight into Sims, so don't go typing in any results that you've got over the past few months. You can export it and upload it straight into Excel as well, nice and easily using the export to Excel button. The last thing I'm going to show you just on the Teams front, before we try to just show you a couple of elements before we finish, is to use the tabs at the top here. So you want this to be an all-in-one area for your children to access what they need to access. So if you click on the plus, you can add additional tabs. But those tabs can be everything from an Excel document or maybe a particular form. So that could be a daily check-in, could be a YouTube video that you want them to watch regularly or work off on a channel, Word document of instructions, anything that you want, a PDF on there, PowerPoint for them to quickly go to. It could be that you quite often use a third-party online website. So click the website button and you can add a website into a tab. So we can do this here. And click save, and then for everybody along the top I've got my website and it puts it within the Teams, so I can control that really easily and put those resources there as well. The other thing that you can do is add the Insight tab, and this allows you to see the insights for that particular lesson and all the information that you in there. They don't have the kids won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to see it as a teacher. So you've got the Insight tab on there, so you can see people's engagement with the work that you've set them and everything on there. So I can see that I've got to do some attention here because Tom Squibb hasn't been active, so I'll sack him later on. He's missed some of his homework as well. All on my screen, really nice and easy to use. But again, if you've got those laptops now in front of children, or they're using an iPad, and you don't want them to fart around, again, a technical term, of adding or going to a website and wasting time in your lesson, just add it as a tab. Get them to open up Teams, which they should automatically log into, and then tell them to go click on the BBC button and they're straight there. They don't have to open up anything else. Nice, quick, direct access to it wherever they are in the classroom or at home. Great if you create a channel, maybe you're doing a project, you want to add some more resources onto there, fantastic way to learn them to do it. So that's just going back a quick overview over what you can do with Teams there in terms of the handing in the homework and everything like that, and setting the assignments. Really powerful. And don't forget, you can click on the assignments tab on the left-hand side, which will allow you to have a look at all the ones that you've done for all your classes and all the returned, and save yourself some time. Just reuse the ones that you've done. On there. Somebody asked a really good question. Can you add a sway as a tab? Yes, you can. Just copy and paste that link into there, and you just have on the website link and put that as a link to the sway, so then they can have that discussion element. use that sway. Fantastic idea there to put it to them to open it. Again, if they're on their iPad or the phone at home, carrying it on as homework, they've got access to all those resources. It doesn't matter what device that they're using. So really, really easy. Okay, I'm speeding up a little bit. I know I'm talking fast anyway. You can slow me down, but you can also, we've only got 4 minutes left. So I just want to introduce you to a couple of last things that you can use on here. And this may help you, but it might also help with coursework as children get older and you're setting deadlines. So on the left-hand side here, you should be able to see planner. Oh, I got planner. No, so if you can't see it, press the mosaic up here, and planner is this one here. So planner can be built in within your team. It's built into team, and what you can do is you can create a plan, funnily enough. So I can add it to my existing Office 365 group if I wanted to. I'm not going to just for this one, but say you've got English Set 3 and you've got their coursework due. So we'll call this English Set 3, and then I'll wonder in a few weeks why I've got a plan for English Set 3 in my files. And your team will automatically be added, and what you've got is bucket lists. So here I can say, so coursework deadline 1, or no, let's just call this coursework, I don't know, English, and we'll do the next one is coursework English reading. I can then put in tasks here for the individuals. I can assign them to them, and I can set a due date for them, and they'll get a pop-up and a reminder and everything on here to complete the work that you're doing. So if you're letting them do that bit of independent working, maybe they're going off to do a project. You can set them key milestones in these that they have to reach, okay, and I'll get emails to remind them. You get this fantastic overview of a chart here of who's done what and when. So you can view everything. Now, the other way that this is really useful outside of teaching and learning is development planning for your department or your school development plan. So I've seen on here, you've got the strands, and each task is something for somebody to do, and you assign it to people within your group, your team, to achieve those stuff in there as well. So really, really useful element there to keep people organised and for you to keep track of where they are in their progress as well. So it's well worth a play. It's got a really good app that you can put on your phone as well. So if you like ticking things off, you can do that on there as well. So really, really easy to use as well. Now, one of the most underrated options that you can have is to create, obviously, resources for people at home. But did you know that when you're on here, you can create a video of what is on your screen from Stream? So in Stream, I go to create and I do record screen or video, and I can then annotate over the video that I am recording. So I can't do it at the moment because I'm already using it in Teams, but I can use this to put a picture of me down the bottom. So I'm like streaming in, if you like, and it's not just now on you know, on your PowerPoint or anything like that. You can use your sway. You can talk them through your sway or talk them through whatever they need to do, and you can record it with you down the bottom, and it will follow everything that you do on your screen, and that's built into Stream, which you've got here as well. The other thing that you can do nice and easily in Stream is when you upload it, it automatically, let me grab one here. So it will, as it's playing, it's created its own transcript. And what your students can then do, and I didn't know this the other day, is click on the bit that they want to rehear, and it will take them that bit into the transcript of that. So they can search up here and find, maybe they want to go straight to the bit in the resources there you've covered some specific topic. They can search for that there, and it will come up with it, and they can click on that and it'll play the relevant bit of the recording back to them, so they can quickly go in and out of that as well. You can also add a form next to your video. So you can add a form here from the forms website. You can just copy and paste it into here. You add your form, put the name next to it, and you can get them to watch the video and then complete the form next to it to check their learning using the tools that we started with at the beginning. So that brings me to a close on a very quick, I know it probably doesn't seem a very quick at 5 o'clock, roundup of some of the amazing tools that you've got there sitting at your fingertips that you could now use in classrooms and continuing in home learning if there's any bubble closures or anything like that, that perhaps you didn't know were there. If we use the feedback tool, give us a thumbs up if you've learned something new today on one of those tools that you're going to go and give a try. Few people there, few people, 2 people, that's not bad going. I'll accept that. Yeah, a few people have learned something there that they're going to go away and give a try. Fantastic. That's really good to hear and to see. And the more you try, the better you're going to get at it. All of this, I've just learned over time and time again. I'm just going to finish giving you a heads up that Teams is changing. On my screen now, and I'll share this link into, Niall will love this, they've announced today a whole raft of new changes, including changing how you interact with students when you're teaching. So you'll see here, it changes the layout to show you the videos of what people are doing on the left or the top. And also you can stick your lovely self in front of the video. So if you're sharing your screen, the children can still see you on the bottom as a cutout as well. So that's quite a cool new feature as well. There's lots of other things that they're putting into there based on feedback. They're also, this is a change where they're changing the who can bypass the lobby. Somebody asked about who can you add into that. You can see here that you can do quickly change it now to people I invite. And you can disable cameras for individual students and not allow them to turn them back on during a lesson as well if you want to. So only the people that you want to have the cameras. I've put the link in the chat because these are brand new. They're not all coming straight away. At the bottom, it explains what's coming and when. So within the next few months or later on this year. But it's worth following that list and keeping up to date about it. Have a look around. As somebody just said there, have a look around, explore, see what you can find. If you need any help, Niall, myself, and all your digital leads, which are probably you guys as well, are there, and we'll do some more training as well. But thank you very much for being so patient and listening all the way through, and I hope you found it useful.
Brilliant, Matt. Thank you very much for that. Just to remind you guys that this has been recorded, so if you can share it with colleagues who weren't able to make it tonight, that would be brilliant. And there's a second session, isn't there, Matt? Do you know what date that is?
It's at some point.
We'll get that sent out to you guys through remote leads.
At some point.